Okay, we're going to do a second fermentation of the kefir.
Yeah, water kefir. So we're going to show a first fermentation and a second fermentation.
Okay, so just saying what we've prepped here because we already prepped some things.
Okay, so we just have some chopped ginger, and I have some frozen blueberries. I have some tea that I made yesterday and has chilled and it's been in the fridge.
Okay.
This is organic cane sugar. And, oh, I gotta get that. These are the fermented water kefir grains. They're fermenting right now. Empty bottles and lemon juice.
And this is organic.
For sure.
Pure lemon juice. Okay, got it.
Pure lemon juice for those lazy people. And I have a little strainer dubbin thing that I need a better setup, but this is what I have. Perfect.
Okay.
Okay. So I've just got some water that's warmed up to.
Boiling?
No.
Warmed up. Added it to your sugar. How much sugar did you have in there?
A quarter cup.
Okay.
So what are we doing? Dissolving. We're dissolving the sugar. And that is hot, so I'm just going to set that aside. So here we go. This has been fermenting for 3 to 4 days, which is quite a long time for water kefir in a normal environment. But we're in the winter and it's a little bit cool. And these guys are pretty new, so they're a little bit sluggish.
And that's the kefir down in the bottom there, right?
Yep, you can see the little grains floating there,
Mm-hmm.
and most of them are on the bottom. So I'm just going to pour the fermented liquid. Okay, so I've got a little bit of liquid in the bottom still, and I'm just going to leave that in the jar because that'll help for the next batch. And then the baby grains are really small, so that just kind of looks like a big mush. So here we go. That chunky was a fig or an apricot dried.
There it is.
There it is, yeah. And we can use that again. I just put a new one in last time. So we can use it for a second ferment. And there we go. So we'll set these guys aside. And we're going to pour off our second jar.
And you fill them up about 3/4 of the way?
Yeah, I'm going to add some flavors. So the standard recipe for setting up for the first ferment again is a 1/4 cup of kefir grains, which I have a bit more. I have to hold that thing in. So there's a bit more than a 1/4 cup here, but when it's cold and sluggish, oops,
That's for the dogs.
That's for the dogs. Actually, it's clean. It's clean. I can do it like this. It's no big deal. Go. Thanks, though. Cool. Oh, so it's okay that I have more than a quarter cup of grains in my little jar, and I'll do a quarter cup of sugar, and the fact that there's a bit more grains will just help it ferment better.
Because you're going to reuse those jars again, right?
Yeah. So sort of the standard is if you have a quarter cup of grains, you would use a quarter cup of sugar, and you would put them into a jar with a couple cups of water. So it would be a quarter cup of grains, quarter cup of sugar, a couple of cups of water, and then a dried fruit and a lemon wedge, or just a little bit of starter tea instead of a lemon wedge. But right now it's winter, and these are fairly sluggish. They're not fermenting too fast, so we can go ahead and use a higher volume of grains. There. And we can use the dried fruit for a second time, and we can use the jars again too. They don't have to be cleaned out. So what I understand is that you can use them for a couple of weeks before you scrub them out. Okay, so everybody's kind of equal. Thank you. And then I'm just going to add the flavors. So what we've done is we've taken the kefir from the first ferment and poured it into the bottles, and this will now ferment for a second time. And in our second ferment, we can get some different flavors going. I think what you're aiming for is about 20% juice and 80% kefir. But mostly I worry about how many bottles I have. So yeah, I like this. This is just tea. And we got some lemon. Doing about a tablespoon. And then we're going to put frozen blueberries in and some chopped up ginger. And ginger is really nice for enzymes and stuff, which really feed the bacteria and get it active. Pineapple is amazing. And I hear like mango and stuff like that is awesome. So, but this is a really simple and cost-effective mix for us to do. So that's that. Now I'm just gonna put some blueberries in. Sometimes we just do like frozen raspberries. It's our first time doing blueberries. But it just kind of tastes good. You can't mess it up unless you put too much ginger in, I've been told. So that's lots of ginger for one jar. That's lots. And maybe if you chopped it up finer, it would give a stronger flavor. And kind of depend how juicy your ginger is too. There we go. So kefir carbonates quite rapidly. So this will start to build pressure. Even by tomorrow morning, I can burp it and it'll have a little fizz. Oh, I lost track. I think that's good. Okay, so that's pretty much it. And I'm just going to put the tops on. I like to leave the jars where empty so that as the pressure builds, when I go to burp them, it'll fizz up really fast. So it gives me a little room.
So you don't have to burp it until tomorrow now?
Right.
So like morning or tomorrow evening?
Tomorrow afternoon will be fine because it's
So
the first day.
24 hours?
Yeah, it won't build up too much pressure the first day, but the second day it will. And again, this is temperature related. So
Right.
in a warmer climate, half a day might need a burp. So,
Okay.
but I have a pretty cool corner that these go into, and it gets covered up with a blanket or a tea towel. And then it'll take, in a warm environment, it would take 1 to 2 days. In our lovely northern environment, it takes 4 to 5 days, and I burp it every day because they can explode. And that's...
So they'll explode, like just pop the top off and...
Like the jars, if you don't burp them, there is the possibility that they can explode. Like shatter and explode.
Okay.
Yeah, because of pressure. Now, some of these are supposed to, in theory, let air escape. I'm not sure if these bottles do. So anyways, make sure you burp them. Don't put them in a dark closet where you forget about them. You need to burp them because nobody wants to deal with exploding glass. Very good. So, that's that.
Okay, so how long did you say they'll have to stay?
Jesus.
You'll put them in a dark place, like you'll cover them up and then you burp them every day and...
Yeah, I just wait till the pressure builds up, so I can open one for you that I have going right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
And...
Ready? Okay. So I burped these already today, so we'll see if we can get a fizzy one. Yeah, that's getting some good pressure.
And this is a second burp today, so you've already burped them. How long have these been sitting on the counter now?
I don't know.
Oh.
I just put my oldest to the corner and the newest away, and then I just keep rotating. Because even the same bottle from, like, bottles from the same batch, some of them will be fizzier than others. So I just wait till the pressure is really built up. And that's when I put them in the fridge.
Okay.
But sometimes you have to hold this cap down because you don't know how much pressure is, like, I know I've burped these already today. These bottles are like hard. There. Woo! So that's what I mean by
Oh, yeah.
having some freedom in the neck there.
Yeah.
Yeah, these Grolsch bottles, they're the best. The pressure builds up quicker in those too, I've noticed, so. Yeah. So, there.
That's it, hey? Just a quick open and close again.
Yeah.
And everything's moving around in there.
Yeah, the first couple days, I don't even take my hand off so much. You'll know when the pressure's starting to build up in the bottle. You'll know. But the first couple days, I just to let the air out and put it back down. Yeah. I'm just gonna wash this guy off, and then we're gonna come back and do our first ferment. This is my second ferment corner, and all I do is I just have the oldest and the newest. This is one batch here. And a couple are gone from this batch already because they pressured up enough that I put them into the fridge. And now I'm going to put the latest ones we just did. Like that. And then I just cover them all up. And that's easy. Now I know these will have the most pressure when I burp. Cool. So the kefir has a really clean taste. So start with sort of lower amounts. Like the cranberry juice, we did the organic cranberry juice in it, and it was just too strong and it didn't taste right. But if you put just literally a teaspoon of cranberry juice is lots. No, I don't want to be on camera. So we're gonna do the second ferment on this. So there's 1/4 cup sugar water.
You prepped earlier before we started everything.
Yeah. And this is filtered water through our water filtration, but it still has the minerals in it. And then I leave it out on the counter for a day or two to let any chlorine evaporate out of the water. I don't know if we have that. So this has cooled down. And I'm just going to cool it off a little bit more with this room temperature water. Try and get that sugar in. So we have our kefir grains, some room temperature filtered water, and our 1/4 cup of sugar water. And that's it. It had some of its previous ferment left in with the grains there.
And it's good to keep some of the previous liquid in with the new? Okay.
Yeah, just to help the pH be right. So this is the same napkin I had, and I'll put a ring over it, and then it can go sit over in its corner with another towel over it, and right now it's about 4 days before I have to deal with it. In the summer it'll be every day so that's it. I'll just slam the rest of this together, and that are under those cloths. Yeah. Those guys just came out of the fridge. So to rest the grains a couple times a year, you just put them into some clean water and you put them into the refrigerator. And you can do that for a week and then change the water. And then you can leave them in there for another week. So 2 weeks altogether in the fridge gives them a break. And then you can bring them back out and give them their sugar and new water and a lemon wedge. And they might go through 1 or 2 cycles of that before they start to get good and active again and start to ferment. And that's that.
Just to recap, so there's a second jar now.
So here's the filtered grains. And they're in a little bit of the water from the first ferment.
And that
what are
apricot
you?
or something.
Okay, so I'm just going to get some room temperature water in there. And in here I just poured hot water on my sugar again.
Right.
So we just don't want things too hot. We've killed our little bacterias.
Mm-hmm. Don't want to do that.
And that's it.